Hey, what is up? This is the Crypto Harlem live stream. I'm just playing around with a bunch of different things. One thing that I found was that I can't live stream to one of the Facebook accounts because now there's like a follow requirement. So that was interesting. That wasn't there last week. And so definitely going to have to get more of those folks up there following. But anyway, also I'm trying to like also do a restream from to Instagram, which is also going to be kind of weird. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Also, I should probably put something up here to block the sound so it doesn't vibrate as much. Okay. But welcome to Crypto Harlem live stream. I'm your boy Matt, Gemini Matt, and we are Crypto Harlem, CryptoHarlem.com, going across the top. Anti-surveillance, hacker, privacy, security, all that good stuff coming at you. So yeah, just gonna jump right in. So last week on the stream, I'm looking at myself on Instagram now, where it's just a little strip. It's like a little strip of the screen, but like luckily, most of what we're gonna do today, first of all, we're gonna have a shorter than normal stream, which is, because and I think on Instagram in like 10 seconds, I'll be able to see um, whether I pulled off moving exactly into the little strip or out of it. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we're going to talk about part two of New Phone Who Dis because, last week's stream, the stream happens on Saturdays at 1 o'clock Eastern time. I talked about like, what would a hacker do when they needed to change devices? And we talked about like some basic questions like, should you take advantage of a trade-in, you know, where for marketing purposes, and you would basically send your device into some phone company, uh, or and then you would therefore like trade in your old device and get a discount on a new device. And that's always kind of like flawed and fraught with all kinds of issues. So one thing is like, is the chance that your data gets recovered worth whatever the trade-in value is? And that's just up to you. That's a personal choice. Um, and so the recommendation would be like not to let that happen. Like that would probably be not a good idea. Um, and so let's see. Oh, I'm watching myself. Hey, Algoritmo on Instagram. Thanks for that really nice message. I appreciate you. Um, and yeah, we'll see. Oh, I also need to make sure that the sound isn't on, otherwise it'll bleed through. Turn that off. Okay. So yeah. So anyway, so yeah, we talked about that last week. I walked around Brooklyn, New York, which was not Harlem, and we talked about like all the different parts and things about moving all your encrypted keys to a new device, how to get your encrypted messages backed up and moved over to a new device. Is that even a good idea, or is it better to just start fresh? Usually, I would be like, start fresh, stay minty fresh and keep your new device new. Part of the things you get from not moving over any old things is avoiding any chance that you're moving over data that might be infected with something or compromised in some way or things like that. But understanding the reality of at Crypto Harlem, we're not just telling you one way to do stuff. We really believe that privacy and security are a dial. That you should be able to like have the agency and control to dial up or dial down. And that's what we're trying to do is just really give you everything you need to understand how to do those things. So yeah, that's what this whole series of New Phone Who Dis is about. It's about like understanding the pros and cons of getting a new device. Everyone deserves a new device in their life, and nothing's better than that new device feeling when you walk out, pull the plastic off the case, and use it for the first time. That first picture on that new device, mwah, so perfect, so awesome. So I want you all to experience that, but also understand that we care about privacy and safety and doing that as safe as possible. Um, so other things to think about when it comes to a new device and your privacy and security, other than moving over your devices and things, is like, making sure that you install your VPN should be one of the first things that you install. And there's all kinds of VPN services out there. I'm not here to like plug or advertise for anyone. It's a very shady business where most of the reviews are paid for. If you wrote a legit independent review of a VPN company and it started getting like a lot of attention, someone would show up and try to pay you. So, but the usual suspects. Like if you want a VPN, a virtual private network that's fun and easy to use. By the way, if you're wondering like what exactly is a VPN, VPN stands for virtual private network, and let me write that down for you. Although people on Instagram won't be able to see this, they'll probably see a VPN is a that private something like that. But I guess I can make it everyone experiences a little strip. You know, I could do that. I don't know if that's the best idea, but I could do that. Could it make everyone experience a little strip, and just for the Insta people, maybe But let me see. Where would I even do that? I forgot where that little thing of a thing is. It's like every time I look for this thing, I can't find it. But then once I do find it, it's in the most obvious place. It's just too obvious, I guess. It's in too good a place, and I'm not going to try to get it now. Please don't do that. Rootsman Chin. Here, please. First of all, I personally don't like it. I don't like being in a little strip. It's not like my favorite thing. If that was what the please don't do that is. Yeah, I mean, the Instagram people, we're not here for no disrespect. If you're looking at this on IG, oh, wait, hold on. Face tracking. Track me over here. Oh man, this AI camera. I talked to the camera by supposedly using hand gestures, but I didn't control the gestures. They come with the camera. And it just happens to be that I like to talk with my hands a lot. You know what I'm saying? And all my gestures are basically like AI camera gestures. So, like if I do this, the AI camera is supposed to see that I'm trying to tell it to like zoom in or zoom out. And like that's a weird gesture. I'm not walking around like, hey, what's up, y'all? It's bad, but there's some other ones that I'm not going to do because basically it'll trigger the camera to do something. And it just really hurts. I'm like, every time I'm trying to do something, I'm like, nah, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah, Rootsman Chin. Instagram people can turn it landscape or whatever, So you heard it here. Listen to Rootsman. First of all, if you're on the IG, put down the IG, open up your desktop, experience the beauty that is Crypto Harlem Live and all its 1080, 4K, 8K vibes. You know what I'm saying? But to the people who watch on Twitch, which is like the primary audience of the live stream, thanks for checking it out. I'll do a quick roll call, and then I'm going to ask you what genre of music should we play, because I don't like to be super quiet on the background. So just give me a genre of music in the chat, and I will make sure that that's the background you get. Of course, we're not going to play licensed tracks, only cleared samples here. We don't need more takedown notices. It's bad enough being a hacker in this game. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, hit us up with the genre, and we'll put that on. But here is our roll call to the people on Insta. And then I will ask you to try to follow the Facebook so we can get back on the stream, because like, I don't know, they recently, for whatever reason, we got dinged with this, like we need X number of followers on that account. And so I'll ask you to help us out with that. So if you hear my voice, type your music genre of choice in the chat. And to the Twitch folks, I just want to put my hands together for you. H Hides, you know what I'm saying? Thanks for watching us. And to 8row, okay, same thing. 8row, thanks 8row for rocking with us. Appreciate you. And again, sorry for starting a little late, but that's what, The setup is sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And Deniai, you know what I'm saying? To you, Deniai, for tuning in. D9 or DN9, you know what I'm saying? I see you, I feel you, you know what I'm saying? Gratisnod, of course. Mark Zinks, of course. Regress, and Bobby Breezy. And reaching out to you in this experimental IP audience. We'll see how long I decide to do this for. I'm really going to repping this forever, but thanks for hanging out. X Flat Black X and Marjolon and Dennis Iovo and Crypto Harlem USA and Algorithmo. So thanks for trying to check it out on the little strip that is Portrait. No, okay. Um, so yeah, I got a brand new phone. It was cool. Um, I talked about moving my encrypted messaging over. The next thing that's most important to me is being able to use a virtual private network. A virtual private network is just like a concrete tunnel between where you're on the internet and whatever thing you're trying to reach, like this website or whatever, Facebook or Insta or whatever you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, just do your best, I guess, uh, get there, go through the tunnel, like if you're not using a virtual private network, you're basically just not on this encrypted tunnel between you and, the internet and going back and forth. And what that means is hackers can see some information about what you're doing on the network because they're on the network with you. So if I'm on like a coffee shop network and you're on the same coffee shop network, the idea is that, comes from computer networking that we kind of vibe a little bit. It's not a complete stranger, which is not true. And the reason of this is because networking technology existed when people had wired cables. And so if you had a computer that was like wired into the wall and there was another computer wired into the wall, there was this assumption that those computers are somehow related to each other, like they can know something. So in the Wi-Fi world, that's really not how it works, but we can't change the way technology is built. And there are things that hackers can do to see like how many computers are on the network with me, or where those computers may be trying to access, what websites maybe they try to get to. Now, because most websites are encrypted, they have an S, HTTPS. That S does not stand for savings. HTTPS, the S stands for security. So yeah, like that really helps a lot, and it makes it that someone on the network with you can see the website you're going to, but not the page you're on. So they can see you're on like CNN.com, but they can't see that you're on the sports section or reading an article about, I don't know, um, the New York Nets or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Brooklyn Nets. To that point, a VPN would be great because people wouldn't be able to see you. VPN also allows you to appear to be coming from a different place. So if you're trying to watch a video that's only for people in the UK, or, for example, we were on a French documentary. If you go to the website cryptoharlem.com and you go to the French news out article, there's a video there, but you won't be able to catch us on there because it's only for people in France. So a VPN will make it look like you're coming from France, you're in France, and you'll be able to access some data. So that's dope. So VPNs for phones, like if you are on an Android and Android comes with this service called Google One. Google One comes with like a VPN. So you might not even realize that you have a free Google One VPN, or if you paid to increase the storage because your email was like, yo, this is not you're using too much space on Gmail or something, and you paid money, you might have Google One, and it comes with a lot of different things, including at one tier a VPN. So you can see if you have that, and so here's the website for that. It's one.google.com/about/VPN, which, who's going to remember all that? So I'll put it on the screen for you. Boop. If you're watching me on Instagram, it probably says PM. Sorry, I can't stop. I don't know why it's so funny to me. So, but yeah, if you go there and if you happen to have that, maybe you already have the account, you log in, you already have a free, because you already paid for it, it's not really free at all, VPN. Other options include TunnelBear, and let me put this thing on the screen real quick. I have no idea how this looks for people who are looking at this on Instagram. Probably looks really funny, but VPN by Google, Google One. That's that link. You could check that out if you're interested. It's, you know, you got it on your mobile, whatever, right? TunnelBear is a really cute and fun service where everything is a cartoon and it's like a little teddy bear going through Mario Brothers tunnels, um, and it's cool. I'm gonna put that up in the chat right now, and it's a good option. They also, like many other mobile VPNs, offer like a free kind of thing, like somewhat like a freemium model where some of the stuff is free, which is kind of nice. It's like better than nothing. You could use it for a little bit, a couple of megabytes of data or whatever a month, but it's fun and easy to use and very cartoony. And their site looks like this. And when I refresh, look at the animated bear. Look at that bear popping out. Wow. So, blah, so that's how that bear be coming out. And that's cool. Um, so that's a good one. I have that one. I have a lot of them on my phone because what I find is like they've been using like different ones for different reasons. Um, Another popular one is Proton VPN. Boop, boop. And Proton VPN and their website be looking like this. Boom, straight up on the Protons. And yeah, I don't know, like they also offer, like when you install it, like a short period of time, you get like a really high quality version of it, of working, right? Um, Let me get the Proton one on this one. Boom. Nope, nope, no. Boom, here. Yeah, you get a couple, like you get like limited usage. Let me get this face tracking. Stop face tracking. Okay. You get limited use, but it's pretty good. And it's one thing I find is like if you're trying to access something and it's like this is only for someone in France, and then you use a VPN and you try to come in from France, and it's like, nope, you're on a VPN. They don't actually know for sure you're on a VPN, but what happens is there's VPN detection, and that's usually based on an IP address. So, like for example, there's a company, IP Quality Score, which has a VPN detection page that I really like because it's easy. If you just type in like VPN detection in your favorite search engine, look up IP quality or IP to proxy or any service like that, and they'll check your IP for if you're on a VPN. And they'll be like, yeah, this is your IP, and we think that it is a VPN or it's not a VPN. But basically, the list of IP addresses that you get from being on a VPN, they're different. So, and when a VPN company buys a block of new IP addresses, no one knows that those were bought by Proton or TunnelBear or whatever. So they'll work and they won't be detected. But very quickly, they'll be detected, usually because the service is looking at who the host is and it mentions the VPN company name, or over time, they'll have their own little spiders crawling and checking. And then they'll be like, nope, we got to block this one. And it becomes kind of like a weird game of whack-a-mole, that game where, you in an amusement park where they'll have like animals popping out of holes and then you got to hit them, kind of like this cat. I'll put this cat on, so this is a cat playing whack-a-mole from Jiffy, okay? But with human fingers, you know what I'm saying? So this is like what me using a VPN to try to access content like Netflix or Hulu or something that's like been blocked. It's really like jumping from hole to hole by using a different VPN connection, by logging out and logging in. Or for me, I usually switch providers. What I found is like Proton is strangely pretty good at not being picked up. So I use it for that, mostly for that. Tunnel Beer, I use the least. Sometimes it works when I'm trying to like access content that's blocked or whatever, but I like them. You know, they try to like help out folks who really need it and give some credits to the people. Um, the VPN I use the most on my desktop, but not on my phone. So it doesn't really fit into the new phone who this thing is Rise Up VPN, also known as Bitmask. I love Bitmask because Bitmask is free, right? So when in most free VPNs are shady, but this one it really is just like for the people. You could just download it on your desktop and you end up with this thing called Rise Up VPN. And there's a version of it for Windows, there's a version of it for Mac, and there's no login. So there's no username, there's no password, there's no credit card. So, you know, it really lends itself to being a little more private because let's just say I'm on a VPN and I access a website and that website sees me coming in from this address like 10111, right? And it's like, okay, what's the, you know, this person who came in on 10111 came to our website and just started wrecking shop and smashing windows and flipping tables and stuff and just demolished the whole site. Well, who is 10111? They look it up and they see that it's owned by a VPN company, right? They'll contact that VPN company and be like, who was 10111 at 1:34 on Saturday, you know what I'm saying, June 15th? And it'll be like, oh, that was like Gemini Matt at Crypto Harlem. That was the name of their login. Or they'll say it was paid for by this credit card, like Matt, you know what I'm saying? On Matt's like Amex or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So, well, then there goes your anonymity. But when you use Bitmask, everyone has the same username. There's only one button, connect. There's no passwords. Because it's free, there's no credit cards. So it's not like tying you things to the account. So I often try to use it when I want to be just like a little more private and a little more anonymous. When I'm messing with my VPN. And then, of course, I use Molvad, which people used to be like, what are you talking about? But now, like many cities are just wrapped with this Molvad ad campaign. So Molvad, I'm happy you got money to like wrap buses in Manhattan and stuff. But I was rocking with you. You know, I was like a day zero chilling with you, Molvad, when the mole wasn't really known. So yeah, Molvad is cool. And you know, there was a recent case where their offices were raided by the police, um, and they were like, we demand to know who this IP address is, blah, blah, blah. And Molvad was like, well, first of all, our servers aren't here. So there's nothing for you to see. Is two, we don't really know that information at all. And so that's another way you can tell that when a VPN company is telling the truth or not. It's just like, look up what happens when there's legal proceedings. And yeah, Molvad has passed many tests. And you even get paid for Molvad by mailing them cash. And they like with a serial number, and it's a whole system you can read about on the Molvad site. It's not probably heavily advertised, but you could do it, and you can have like a VPN that is not tied to a credit card, but is still a professional commercial VPN service. So there you go. So anyway, I have all those on my phone, and just wanted to get into that's one of the first things I do. So yeah, Molvad got ads now. Yo, the Molvad ads are ridiculous. In fact, I promise you a draw of things. I will do a reel on Instagram about all these Molvad because I've been recording them over periods of time. So I'm going to show you all these ridiculous Molvad things. Like they wrap subway cars, they wrap entire ads in subway cars in New York City, buses. I've been to like a couple different cities and seen giant Molvad ads. Makes no sense. So I don't know where their money comes from, but that stuff is not cheap. Yeah, you know, like Exhibit wrapping like a, you know what I'm saying, like a limo or something. That's what Molvat does. I know it's mind blowing, you know. So there you go. I was like, Molvat is me, you know what I'm saying? Now you big. What up? You know. So I don't know. Hopefully Molvat doesn't forget where it came from and stays the underground VPN of choice. You know, but it's kind of hard to be underground when you rapid subway cars. Yeah. So another thing I want to talk about before we wrap was a little more serious, and it's about like the whole mission of Crypto Harlem. And our mission is anti-surveillance. Our mission is protecting marginalized people. Our mission is looking out for all folks, starting with Black folks in Harlem, and then expanding to like all folks who are feeling the kind of like the boot of oppression on their neck anywhere on the planet, right? And the idea is that if you can stop surveillance in the inner city and where it is, then you can stop it anywhere. So if you can stop it like where in the petri dish, the test labs of surveillance, which is often where marginalized communities are, then you can stop it anywhere, right? And one example of that, I'm just going to show you this quick video, which for Instagram people are going to be looking like really short or whatever. And it's about a case that we've talked about in the past on the live stream in New Jersey. Okay, so but I'll talk about why it's relevant now.
The crimes were serious: unlawful possession of a weapon, resisting arrest, aggravated assault. After police responded to reports of a theft at a Hampton Inn in Woodbridge, New Jersey, the suspect drove away, hitting a police car, and police claim almost running over an officer. Using cutting-edge facial recognition technology, police quickly arrested Niger Parks, a 31-year-old Patterson resident. The only problem? Niger Parks was innocent.
How many years are you facing?
The last time I went to court, they gave me an 8 with an 85 offer, which is like 6 years.
6 years for a crime you didn't commit?
Yes.
At the same time the crimes were being committed at the Hampton Inn in January 2019, Parks was 30 miles away in a Western Union, sending money to his fiancée. But police found what they say was a fake driver's license at the scene, and using the photo on the ID, got a facial recognition match to Niger Parks. With seemingly no other evidence, a judge signed a warrant for Parks' arrest.
The thing that is so notable about this case isn't that the facial recognition got it wrong. It's that we found out.
Parks has now become the face of an issue researchers and privacy advocates have been warning about for years: facial recognition in the hands of law enforcement.
When we talk about the number of facial recognition scans unfolding in the United States every day, we don't even know the full number. You can have people who are being sent to jail wrongly who never know that facial recognition played a role in their arrest.
A 2019 federal report found widespread evidence of racial bias in nearly 200 facial recognition algorithms that were far more likely to misidentify people of color than they were white people.
What is the effect of the data that you're putting into an AI to train it?
The training data, pretty much the images that you use to teach the model, end up affecting how the model will perceive a new image that it's never seen before.
Raji is a researcher who analyzes racial disparities in facial recognition software.
If you keep showing a model a very specific type of face, it will distinguish different faces using very specific features. So it ends up maybe focusing on attributes of a face that don't really distinguish faces of a different culture or of a different skin type. In the case of some of the products that we tested, which struggled with performing well on darker skin types.
So you're facing years in jail for a crime you know you didn't commit.
Yes.
And you look at the evidence against you, what do you think?
It wasn't any evidence. It was just a picture. A computer said we look alike.
What do you think when you see that picture?
He looks nothing like him. Looks nothing like him. Which goes back to people think, have a saying all black people look the same. That's the first thing came to my mind. The worst part for me was when we went to court. To see my son shackled and handcuffed in court, fighting for his life. He didn't do it. And it's like nobody believed him.
Parks spent 10 nights in jail, and his case wasn't dropped until almost a year later. He's now suing those involved in his arrest.
Facial recognition is one of those products where it is dangerous when it doesn't work, and it is dangerous when it works. It's still weaponized against people of color. It's a technology that is disproportionately used on that group.
In many jurisdictions, facial recognition scans target the databases of past mugshots. This is really crucial because When you're only looking at mugshots from those people who were arrested in the past, you're building facial recognition on infrastructure that comes from decades of biased policing.
Facial recognition is now being used throughout the country. In New York City alone, police say they identified roughly 2,500 possible facial recognition matches in 2019. Advocates say it helps the police solve crimes by quickly generating leads from nothing more than a photograph or a video. But critics say those leads are often used as evidence. And that's exactly what happened to Niger Parks.
How's it feel knowing that a prosecutor and a judge signed off on your arrest warrant based on just according to them, just a facial recognition match?
Ridiculous. It's just like, where are you doing your job at? You didn't ask any more questions?
We wanted to ask if the same people who signed off on Niger Park's arrest are still using facial recognition as evidence in criminal cases. We tried to contact Woodbridge Police Director Robert Hubner, Prosecutor Christopher Kubaret, and Judge David Stahl. None of them responded to our requests.
What were those 10 days like for you when he was in jail?
They were pretty bad because I was wondering the whole time, were they gonna hurt my son? And then there's nothing we could do about it.
I'm like, yo, I didn't do this. That's not me. He's like, everybody's in here said he's innocent. Like, you gotta prove that you're innocent. But I shouldn't have to prove that I'm innocent. You should have to prove that I'm guilty.
When police use this technology and they get it wrong, the worst case scenario isn't a night in jail. The worst case scenario isn't being wrongly convicted. In the aftermath of last year's police killings and so many others before, we know at this moment that when police make mistakes, Black Americans die.
What did they take from you?
Time you can't get back. Then just being comfortable away from me. Like, I see police, I'm automatically shaken up a little bit now because you prove to me that you can lock me up for that you can do whatever you want to do to me. And there's nothing I can do about it.
Boom. Okay, yeah, just wanted to share the link. I see some people wanted that link. So here's the link on YouTube to that Artem. Now this impact about Niger Parks in New Jersey. So why are we talking about Niger Parks? As we know, this story came out 3 years ago, okay? Well, Niger Parks is in the news again. And the reason is because of this company called IDEMIA, IDEMIA Group that makes Face Expert, which is this product. And this is what, let's see if I can get this to come back. Boop. I really need some background music. I really do. Okay, so this is Face Expert by IDEMIA. So IDEMIA is a company. They have a lot of offices in the UK, and the Face Expert brochure is here. Boop. And you can log in and put in your info, and you can get that. And I'll pick it up for you so I can go over it. But let me make sure I got this right one. Yeah, okay. Which one are you guys looking at? This one, right? So Face Expert says, for law enforcement, facial identification can provide the vital link between a crime and a suspect. It can also be instrumental in the search for a wanted missing person. Always have to add the missing person element because it's more sympathetic, like help us find a lost child before time runs out. That's not what it says, but I'm just saying, it often comes up when I'm researching this stuff. Faces from images or videos can be matched against a database to identify a wanted or missing person again. Once facial images are matched, analysts can link a suspect to a crime, blah, blah, blah. Forget about the missing person. Getting back to the suspects. So, and IDEMIA is now spreading their technology to Ontario, Canada, right? So it says here that, here's the article. Let me share this one. And I know I was shocked. So if you're in Canada, look out. It's going to be like coming at you. Yeah, I know. So here's this article from the CDC. And here is the article from CBC. Let's see if that comes up. Yeah. How a New Jersey man was wrongly arrested through facial recognition tech now in use in Ontario, right? And so this is from just 2 days ago. And this is Niger talking about that case then. And it says here, that like, that tells his story, and it says police in Peel and York regions near Toronto announced in late May that they were jointly implementing IDEMIA's technology, which will be used to compare existing mugshots with crime scene images, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And a big part of the work that we do here at Crypto Harlem is tracking these stories, researching these companies, understanding how these tools work and don't work, because they have like a tendency to jump from the petri dish, the multi-level areas of surveillance and watching that is where any marginalized, criminalized, or other community lives, like in New Jersey, to other parts of the world years later. And it's our firm belief that if we can educate, advocate, and push back in the hood, in the inner city, in foreign, overseas, different cities, different villages, different countries, other places where these tools are like first tested, then we can, one, keep them from surprising people, and also stop them in their tracks so they don't spread further, because it only takes a few years for it to spread further and further and further. And you might say, well, this isn't my community, or these are folks that don't share the same color passport that I have, or the same lifestyle that I have, or the same color skin that I have. But it's coming for all of us, and it's really important to keep our eyes on the ball. Let me put a video up from the CBC, which uses some of the footage from what we saw. Boop, boop.
Nothing like him. Looks nothing like him.
Niger Parks and his mother endured a nightmare when he spent 10 days in jail in 2019 for a theft and assault he didn't commit. Through facial recognition technology, a picture of the suspect taken from a fake driver's license matched with a photo of Parks. Police in New Jersey arrested and charged him days later.
When you first saw the picture they used, what went through your mind?
I was like, he in my head, he doesn't look anything like me. So it was just weird. I'm like, so he basically telling me we all look alike.
The software that led to that mismatch was developed by French tech firm IDEMIA, and that same facial recognition system has now come to Ontario.
What measures are in place to prevent that from happening here?
Again, it's the human element to the software, in that we're going to look at the match and see if that supports other evidence that we've obtained.
Since late May, investigators in York and Peel regions near Toronto have been using the software to compare crime scene images against mugshots from a database. It comes 10 years after Calgary police became the first in Canada to deploy a facial recognition system.
We waited until that technology improved for those exact reasons, and that is why we did go with IDEMIA.
Studies have suggested facial recognition software is more prone to misidentify racialized people. In this presentation, IDEMIA insisted its algorithm has the same false match rate for black or white subjects, male or female. But this researcher has concerns.
And because of how high the risks are of a person's freedom to be limited, in this case, it doesn't make sense to use technology that automates the decisions.
With all charges against him dropped, Parks has this message for police in Ontario.
There's clear evidence that it doesn't work.
He's launched a lawsuit blaming his wrongful arrest on the misuse of what he considers biased technology. Thomas Dagle, CBC News, Toronto.
Boom, boom. Okay, yeah. So, hey, thanks, y'all. Thanks for rocking with us. So this has been the experimental Instagram stream of the Crypto Harlem live stream. Thanks. I appreciate you. For everyone who was watching a little strip, so it's like just peeking through the door, surveilling, maybe even. In all seriousness, like, let's keep our eyes out on where IDEMIA is. If you happen to live in France, be a French national, like, you can put a lot more pressure on these companies than people who are outside of the countries. And we're gonna like talk more about this company in the future, in future live streams. And yeah, just wanted to end it with that. So encrypt, encrypt, encrypt. Stay safe out there. We have like a couple of cool things coming up soon. We're going to be speaking at the Hackers on Planet Earth conference with the team over at CyberElixir. So definitely look out for that. That'll be, we'll also be speaking at the Women Cyber Jitsu conference. Both of these things happening in a few weeks. So again, also with the CyberElixir team up on the social, so check them out. Keep an eye on our website, keep an eye on our live streams, keep an eye however you find this messaging. If you haven't seen Secrets in Your Data on PBS Nova, definitely check it out, Secrets in Your Data. It's a, cool little movie on privacy and security and all that other good stuff. Thanks for sharing that, Rootsman Chin. Yeah, hopes.net. Hope to see you there. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, there we go. Oh, hope.net. Almost poke the hope. Don't poke the hope, Never poke the hope. Okay. AI cam. Follow my head. Okay. When your camera person's a robot, you end up doing the 80s dance moves. Yeah, so you can't stop me. You can't find me. All seriousness, take care of each other, and I will see you next week. But stay strong. Peace. Wait, one last roll call? Okay, one last roll call. We're gonna do it. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Making my own music because I didn't have time to cue. Okay, so wow, we went from lonely girl to zero lonely e-girl. Zero lonely e-girl, it's your world. Okay, we got Olivia is lonely. A lot of lonely. The epidemic of loneliness in our followers. H5s, of course, Nkulaki. 8 row, of course. Appreciate you. If you don't follow, by the way, please follow. Ashley Page. ASMR Media. Casey Maud, Doc 7, Deny Reality, of course, DN9, Draft Snack, Heretic Hopes, Mark Zink, Regress, Carside, VI Mercy. VI Mercy. It's a dance hall thing, or it's about VI versus other editors. Still dope. Z Hestkey, and in the VIP, of course, a draw of things. Our moderator, D Elixir, our moderator, and Rootsman Chin. You get the chair. That's a baby from the future. So appreciate y'all. Catch you later.